Mhm. Semua. Mhm. Good day, dear teachers. Welcome to our conference. My name is Mirango Жақсыгелді. Will be your moderator today. We are glad to have such a group of speakers, and today we'll discuss important topics, share ideas, and respect the time limits, please. The first speaker is this Дуанкулова Рамбекова Алина Жангелдиевна. Are you here?
Бірінші мен едім, Кербаева Гүлфайрус.
Кербаева Гүлфайрус. Sorry. Абай General Education School. Let's start.
Демонстрация экрана. Демонстрация экранға доступ бересіз бе?
Демонстрация өзіңіз қосасыз ғой.
Өзіңіз қосасыз ғой, презентацияңыз өзіңізде ғой. Доступ жоқ?
Осы жерден қосады оны.
Астында поделиться деп тұрады. Астында поделиться
Доступ сұрап тұр. Отправить запрос дейді.
Поделиться.
Разрешение бердім, көрдіңіз енді. Поделицаны басасыз.
Слайд көрінді ме? Презентация көрінді ме?
Көрінді.
Жоқ, ол басқа адамның слайды шығар. Көрінді.
Көрінді ме? Көрінді ғой, иә?
Я все болады. Көрініп тұр.
Дауысың шығар ма? Thank you for the introduction. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Today, I would like to speak about sensory integration and how it helps us develop the 4 language skills at the same time. For many years, language teaching separated skills. One day we practice reading, another day listening, but modern research shows that our brain doesn't learn language in separate parts. Our goal today is not only to teach grammar and vocabulary. Our real goal is to develop communicative competence, the ability to use the language naturally. That's why we need to teach listening, speaking, reading, writing together, not separately. What is sensory integration? It's brain's ability to process information from different senses at the same time. What we hear, what we see, what we touch and do physically. When a student looks at picture, listens to audio and writes a word at the same time, learning becomes stronger and more meaningful. The brain connects information faster and remembers it better. Neurocognitive foundations of the 4 skills. Language is not controlled by one single area of the brain. Listening activates auditory areas, reading activates visual areas, writing activates motor areas, speaking activates speech muscles and articulation. If we teach skills separately, we activate only one part of the brain. But when we combine them, the brain creates stronger connections. Information moves into long-term memory faster and students develop automatic language skills more quickly. The first strategy is multimodal learning. This means using different types of input in one lesson: visual materials, audio, movement, and writing. For example, students watch a short video, read related text, discuss it, and write their opinions. In this way, all 4 skills work together in one natural learning cycle. Here you can see some methods which we use during the learning process. Audio-visual integration, videos, postcards, animations combined with subtitles, text media alignment, reading text linked to audio or video connects, kinesthetic activates role-play movement tasks, multisensory input tasks, visual organizers, interactive digital tools, listening, reading cycles, listen first, read next, then discuss. The second strategy is active learning. Role plays, projects, and problem-solving tasks require students to use all four skills. Students become more involved and take responsibility for their learning. However, we must remember about cognitive load. We shouldn't overload students with too much information. Tasks must match their age and level. If we increase difficulty step by step, learning stays natural and stress-free. Methods and techniques, role-playing and simultaneous, project-based learning PBL, problem-solving tasks, collaborative learning, peer work and group work, discussion-based activities and debates, task-based learning, teaching, peer teaching and peer assessment. To conclude, sensory integration is not just a modern idea, it's necessary for effective language learning. When we activate all four skills together, students learn faster and communicate better. This approach is especially useful in foreign language classrooms, multilingual setting, and inclusive education. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you. Have you got questions? Одна сұрақтар. The next speaker. Well, next speakers are Сыздықова Аяжан Шухановна, Баймурзина Жанар Айрбединовна. Гимназов Казахстан, Шкине Колес Secondary School number. Are you here?
Келесі спикер дайынсыздар ма? Иә, түсінікті. Сыздықова Аяжан.
Баймурзина Жанар.
Гүлфайрус ханым, сіз өше салыс бір демонстрацияңыз. Келесі спикер.
Өшті ме?
Жоқ, әлі өшпейді. Болды, енді өшті. Микрофоныңызды өшіре салсаңыз болады. Енді келесі спикер Сыздықова Аяжан және Баймурзина Жанар.
Следующий. Бекжана Казакенова.
Здравствуйте, как меня слышно?
Хорошо.
Слышно, да? Сейчас я попробую подключить экран. Так. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. My name is Kazakenova Bikjana Maratovna. My theme is improving student reading skills. Today, I would like you to present my experience on the topic improving student reading skills in English. Reading is one of the most important skills in language learning. However, in practice, we often face a problem. Students can read the text, but they do not fully understand it, cannot identify the main idea or find specific information. That is why the main aim of the program is to develop students' functional reading skills through effective strategies and structured practice. In my teaching, I focus on several key methods: skimming, scanning, reading for detail, and vocabulary in context. First of all, let me briefly explain these strategies. Skimming is reading quickly to understand the general idea of the text. Students do not read every word. Instead, they focus on the titles, headings, and the key sentences. Scanning is reading to find specific information such as dates, names, or number. These skills is especially useful for exams and real-life situations. Reading for detail. Close reading helps students deeply understand the text, analyze it, and draw conclusions. Another important strategy is guessing vocabulary from the context. Students learn not to depend on a dictionary, but to understand the meaning of the new words through the text. Now I would like you to show how these methods work in practice. Here you can see a short text. For example, I give this text for students. Technology has significantly changed the way we learn. Online platforms provide access to educational resources such as videos, lectures, ebooks, and interactive exercises. This has made education more flexible and accessible. First step, skimming. At first, I ask students to read the text quickly and answer one question. What is the main idea of the text? The second, students usually answer, technology has changed education. This step helps them understand the general meaning without stress. The second step is scanning. Then I give more specific questions like what resources are mentioned, how has education changed. Now students scan the text and find exact answers: video lectures, ebooks, interactive exercises. This develops their ability to quickly find information. Step 3 is vocabulary in context. Next, I ask students to explain words like accessible or interactive using context. They learn to guess meaning based on the sentence, not translate word by word. Step 4, reading for detail. After that, we discuss deeper questions. Why is technology important in education? What are the advantages? This step develops critical thinking and speaking skills. In my lessons, I also use different types of tasks: identify the purpose of reading, summarizing text, comparing information, predicting content before reading. Students often work in pairs or groups, which increases engagement and motivation. As a result of using these strategies, I can see clearly progress. Students read faster, they understand text better, they become more confident, and most importantly, they start to enjoy reading in English. Here you can see my results. During the school year 2022 and 2023, elective English lessons were conducted for the 7th grade D to develop reading skills, expand vocabulary, and improve the text comprehensions. To monitor the effectiveness of the lessons, systematic assessment were carried out. And here you can see, sorry. This chart demonstrates the performance of the course of the academic year 2022 and 23. Average success rate shows a consistent growth of 1-2% each quarter, reflecting the positive impact of the elective lessons on reading, vocabulary, and comprehension skills. The data provides evidence of effective teaching strategies and active students' engagement throughout the program. To conclude, I would like to say that teaching reading is not just about text. It's about teaching students how to think, analyze, and learn independently. Using strategies like skimming, scanning, contextual, and understanding makes reading more effective, meaningful, and interesting for students. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you. Окей, келесі бізде Сыздықова Аяжан, Баймурзина Жанар. Дайынсыздар ғой, иә?
Я дайынбыз. А это вы, можно вас попросить слайды включить, да, наши? У нас не
Хорошо.
выходит.
Иә, Хорошо, қазір күтетіңіздер.
Нет, сейчас наши слайды поставим. Бастайық па біз?
Қазір бір минут күтетіңіздер.
А вот наши все. Good morning, dear colleagues. Good morning, dear colleagues. Happy Nowruz holiday.
Good morning, dear colleagues. We'll speak about active teaching methods for developing language skills, comprehensive approach to teaching, reading, writing, speaking, and listening in secondary English education.
Research overview. Aim, investigate active strategies that integrate speaking, listening, reading, and writing.
Methods, communicative games, role-play projects, based learning, authentic materials, peer review.
Outcome, practical classroom applications that boost engagement, motivations, and meta competencies.
And the first speaking, active methods and evidence. Many students identify speaking as their most stressful skill, yet they must master it to prove their ability to communicate effectively. Students learn authentic language skills through communicative games and role-play activities, which lets them experience situations from everyday life. Students who perform simulated role in airline ticket buying, meal ordering, business negotiation, and workplace conflict resolution develop purposeful language usage instead of automated speech. Research demonstrates that such contextualized speaking activities reduce language anxiety by 35-40% compared to traditional drilling methods. Students can practice their speaking abilities through peer and group discussions, which provide equal chances for each participant to speak.
Next, listening, strategies and gains. Traditional foreign language education tends to overlook listening comprehensions because students spend more than 40-50% of their time using actual language in genuine communication. Students learn natural native speech patterns through authentic oral materials, which include podcasts, film experts, news broadcasts, and musical compositions. The process of interactive listening with specific task assignments enables listeners to change their passive information intake into interactive mental information processing. Students must maintain their focus while working on true-false statements, multiple choice selections, close deletions activities, and quick note-taking tasks. Video-supported listening enables viewers to create meaning through their ability to observe facial expressions and gestures and visual elements which function as multiple sensory pathways.
And our next skill is reading engagement and critical skills. People obtain their fundamental information through reading, which also serves as their main path to learn grammar and vocabulary. Literature circles and thematic reading guests help students read more books while they build social bonds with their classmates through their reading activities. Literary contact discussion among students and their joint guest completion and social monitoring system help students develop motivation.
Writing process and publication. Writing represents the most cognitively demanding language skill, requiring simultaneous attention to addition, organization, linguistic accuracy, and rhetorical effectiveness. Free writing and sustained journaling without rigorous evaluative criteria reduce writing apprehension while cultivating confidence in written self-expression. People who write in journals on a regular basis start to view writing as a method of communication instead of school assignment. The process of collaborative writing, together with organized peer editing, allows students to develop their evaluation skills while they share their mental workload with their team members.
Integrated projects and motivation. Optimal language development emerges from integrated projects simultaneously engaging all four skills within a unified thematic context. Students participate in a complete sustainable development project through their study of actual articles and academic papers. Their viewing of environmental documentaries, their group discussions, and about their discoveries, their creation of position papers and persuasive essays. The complete design process shows that real communication involves speakers using all four skills together because they naturally use reading and listening and speaking and writing at the same time during real conversation.
Classroom implementation.
Kishki Nicole between 2022 and 2024.
Study based on observations, formative assessment, and surveys of 60 grade 7-9 students.
Speaking. Voluntary participation rose between 32 and 74%. Hesitation, 28%. Extended sentences from 41% to 68%. Pronunciation plus between 20-25%.
Listening accuracy 56% to 72%. Structured note taking improve accuracy by 15% more. Accent comprehension 29 to 64%.
And reading with writing. Reading task completion 67 and 89%. Writing length 35%. Organization 24%. And grammar between 12 and 15%. And 76% felt more confident.
Outcomes and classroom climate.
Interactive tasks preferred by 83% of students, and 79% report less fear of mistakes. 86% find group projects practical.
Off-task behavior decreased 30% during integrated lessons. Average term grades improved by 11-13. Oral scores rose more than grammar tests.
Conclusion and next steps. The current English language teaching methods require students to learn all 4 communication abilities through material conversation in real-world settings. The educational value of teaching individual skills in isolation becomes ineffective, so students should learn through integrated activities, which combine authentic text reading with video listening, group discussions, and organized writing assignments to build complete language learning environments.
The educational transformation of English teaching methods follows modern educational requirements, which help students develop skills for effective communication in today's worldwide society with its multiple languages and digital communication platforms. The upcoming research needs to study the long-term effects of teaching multiple skills together, while it should assess new technologies that enable students to practice real-world communication. And it needs to identify teaching methods which respect the cultural diversity of students who learn in different educational settings. Okay, that's all. Thank you for attention.
Okay, thank you. Мәжде тұрған кім бір кісі? Оның алдындағы кісі
Сыздықова Жан, Баймурзина Жанар.
Біз жағына жауап, біз жағынан.
Жақсыбаева Сайра.
Слайд видно, да?
Пока нет.
Нет?
Все видно.
Так. My report is in English, but my presentation is mixed English and Russian, excuse me. Good afternoon, colleagues. My name is Sayra Jaksibayeva. I'm a teacher, comprehensive school number 33 in Astana. I would like to begin my presentation with the words of Iriada Yakimanskaya, Doctor of Psychology, Professor, the author of 300 scientific papers on development and educational psychology, including developmental learning and student-centered learning. According to her, developmental learning is learning that ensures the complete acquisition of knowledge, shapes learning activities, and thereby directly influences intellectual development. According to Yakimanskaya, recognizing the student as a central player in this entire educational process is what defines student-centered learning. The purpose of my report is to organize English lessons with practical tasks for the intellectual and cognitive development of students. Back to the early 19th, the remarkable psychologist Vygotsky substantiated the possibility and the feasibility of implementing developmentally oriented instructions where knowledge, skills, and abilities are viewed not as end in themselves, but as means of student development, which is the most important immediate goal of instruction. The developmental aspect is more difficult aspect for goals or for the teacher. Why is this? First, the teacher strives to formulate a new development aspect of the goal for each lesson, forgetting that child development occurs much more slowly than the process of their education and upbringing, that the independence of development is relative and that it occurs largely as a result of properly organized education and upbringing. It follows that a single developmental aspect of a lesson goal can be formulated for the 3 prolonged goals of several lessons, and sometimes even for lessons covering an entire topic. The second reason for the difficulty lies in the fact that most often the teacher reduces all development to the development of thinking, thereby unacceptably narrowing the scope of development activity. By focusing more on the practical side of the learning process, teachers can guide children towards achieving results and becoming independent learners. Psychologists believe that learning will be much more beneficial if it is approached consciously. Students should be aware of their own cognitive abilities and see the results of their thinking. They should be able to manage the flow of the lesson and gain experience during the learning process so they can apply these skills independently in the classroom. To achieve this, teachers are engaging methods, techniques, and technologies to engage students, teach them analytical, comparative, and problem-solving skills, thereby developing their thinking, attention, and motor skills. Each goal they set provides students with something useful for their development. For example, to develop comparative and analytical skills, as well as to generally assess understanding of verb tenses, you can offer logical questions to reinforce the topic of the passive voice. Through comparisons, children gain a deeper understanding of the peculiarities of sentence constructions in English and their native language. Вы смену слайдов видите, да?
Да, видим. Мгм.
For example, question is, does the tense change when converting a student from the active voice to passive voice? What need to be determined to convert the sentence and its verb from the active voice to the passive voice? These questions can develop their thinking skills. In this way, the teacher provides the capacity to track their achievements and connect the acquired experience with other achievements. After such questions, the student gains a clear picture of all verb tenses and begins to mentally analyze and compare sentences with their native language. Furthermore, such questions not only promote the acquisition of methods of native actions and problem solving, but also conscious assimilation of the theoretical foundation in which these methods are built. It must be extracted from the methods and generalized through a simple, small investigation study. Principles of action essentially constitute the content of theoretical assignment. Finally, such questions designed to deeper a specific topic of section can also reveal the developmental stage of particular topics, sentences. Knowledge can be forgotten, but the ability to think remains with the students forever. A modern lesson is a process where the student feels like a full participant in various forms of social life, where the development aspect of the lesson's triune goal is realized, the intellectual and the general development of the student. This forces the teacher to seek forms and methods of growth, collectively distributed activities of students, which can be carried out, first of all, in the form of the expanded collective dialogue. When a teacher instructions align with the student's dominant modality, they perform well and retain information well. Using colorful pictures in the classrooms enhances students' perception and is essential for finding ways to influence students' personalities, to enhance effectiveness of verbal communication and unlock their creative potential. Furthermore, this type of method activates the participants' mental processes, attention, memorization, interest, perception, and thinking. During the flora and the fauna lesson, students saw the diverse and rich natural environment of Kazakhstan's steppe and desert zones. Beginning in the third grade, children can be taught to retell simple texts provided with introductory plan and outline for the text. Work with text should be conducted at the initial stage of learning, discussing its grammar material with leading questions, the content, and the underlying values implied in the content. For example, a text about family. The child should be able to find harmony with their parents who raise them and with the teachers who opened their eyes. The text speaks of a largely family, which is a source of spiritual values in a person. One simply needs to pay attention to this. If a person understands that family is a great value and adapt to fulfilling their duty to their parents, then as they Matthew, they realize that their direction gradually leads to their duty to their homeland, their civic duty. Therefore, using such opportunities in the lesson gives the child the opportunity to fully assimilate family values, such as helping, respect for elders, love for loved ones, the motherland, etc. Listening skills where children can describe characters, engaging them, challenging them to thinking activity actively and create, for example, describing and thinking, talking about a friend or pet or describing a monster while the teacher tells a story also motivates children to creative. The greatest challenge is independently composing sentences, which remains a challenge throughout all stages of learning. For example, to teach to make sentences is at the initial stage of learning. It's helpful, for example, use pictures of people instead of pronouns, for example, like I, we, and they. The images of schools, parks, and stores express adverbial modifiers of place, as do pictures of various means of transport used to get to a destination. Children complete this task with interest and enthusiasm, memorizing pronouns well, and advanced children independently change verbs and adverbial modifiers of place. And after this activity, they are given the task make up sentences independently without pictures. Almost everyone succeeds. The learning process using development technology is aimed at developing the ability to apply knowledge in practical activities. Write a chain of reasoning about Sophia's life using third type conditional sentences. Using the second, this conditional sentence immediately after explaining the topic was effective, and the result was obvious because the student emphasized it with Sophia's fate. For example, if she hadn't met a nice guy there, she wouldn't have fallen in love with him, and students discuss it, her life. During the 8th grade English research lesson on the topic Alberta's New Neighbors, a discussion of a short story of Chris Rose, focused on students' creativity, which allowed for a dialogue between students and the teacher. The goal of the lesson was to demonstrate students' spoken language and to use the freeze frame strategy to determine its usefulness in stimulating students' speech in English lessons. Also, the lesson was effective and a success. Students drew comic strips based on each section of the text. The children engaged in this creative process with enthusiasm. Each had their own task, and everyone was involved in helping the team. They drew a collage, wrote texts, and practiced their skills. Teachers face the difficult tasks of teaching children to think independently, acquire subject knowledge, reason, and draw consciousness conclusions, presenting them in the form of projects, research papers, debates, and reports. This means that students must learn to learn independently and become motivated, engaged, confident, responsible, and intellectually developed individuals. And there you can see the dynamic of race of the students' intellectual position and what their skills after the such active lessons. In conclusion, I want to quote Lev Semyonovich Vygotsky, pedagogy should focus not on yesterday, but on tomorrow's development of children. Only then will it be able to bring to life in the learning process those processes that lie in the zone of proximal development. Thank you for your attention. If you have questions, ask me.
Thank you. Next, Евгения Самойлова. Мгм. Are you
Видно,
here?
да, мой экран?
Мгм.
Видно?
Да, видно.
Good day, dear colleagues and participants. Today I would like to present my experience from text to analysis, innovative essay and graph writing worksheets to develop writing skills. In modern education, developing students' writing skills is one of the most important and challenging tasks. Writing is not only about grammar and vocabulary, it's also about critical thinking, analysis, logic, and ability to express the ideas clearly. In English classes, we encounter students struggling with structuring their thoughts, understanding the requirements of different essay types, and confidently working with visual information. Based on the analysis of data from written assessment in September to October, 75% of students clearly understand the structures. 72% are able to write essay but struggle with developing the topics. 69% struggle with grammatical structures. This can be described as using simple verbs forms. And 74% of students write confidently overall, but struggle with maintaining an academic style. And this is a problem. In addition, since September, I have been preparing students for the Republican stage of the Olympiad for rural students and for the IELTS. This is precisely why the idea arose to create innovative worksheets what guide students step by step from text to analysis and from analysis to competent writing. These worksheets are made using artificial intelligence. These worksheets include reading and key information exercises, tasks for analysis tables, graphs, and charts, step-by-step algorithm for writing various types of essay, and differentiation elements, allowing for working with students of different levels. Another important aspect of these worksheets are differentiation. The worksheets are designed in such a way that students with different language level can work successfully. Stronger students can complete more advanced analytical tasks, while weaker students received support through guided questions and structured models. As a result, students become more confident in writing, improve their reading and analytical skills, and learn to work with complex information in English. For example, in 2024, my 10th grade students won the third place at the Republican stage of the English Olympiad for rural students, where she successfully completed the written essay sections. She has working on these worksheets since the beginning of this school year. And in this year, in 2025, she improved her result and took the second place in the same competition, receiving 39 out of 40 points for writing. In addition, her IELTS score is 7.5, which also demonstrates a high level of academic writing skills. These results prove the systematic work with analytical and written worksheets can significantly improve students' performance not only in classroom, but also in different competitions, Olympiads, and international exams. To sum up, I would like to emphasize that innovative worksheets are not just additional materials. They are also a powerful teaching tools that help students more from simple reading to deep analysis and from basic writing to confident academic expression. Thank you for your attention. I hope my experience will be useful and inspiring for you all in teaching classes. Have you any question, colleagues?
Сұрақтарыңыз бар ма?
No.
Okay, thank you. Next speaker.
Луанкулова Нурбану Уразгалиевна.
Сіз ба? Очень хаос.
Благодарение больше разостать. Благодарение показавшим.
Good day, dear colleagues and participants. My name is Duanakulova Nurbanu Razgalina. I am an English teacher in school 104. The theme of my study is teaching for skills, active teaching methods, and the development of students' language skills. And this purpose of this study is to examine the effectiveness of active methods in developing students for language skills in English language classroom. Next, the challenge. Why grammar alone isn't enough? In many traditional classrooms, instructions centers on grammatical rules and vocabulary memorization. Students accumulate theoretical knowledge, yet struggle when asked to actually use English in authentic situations. The gap between knowing about language and being able to communicate in its defining challenge of modern language education. English in a globalized world. International communication, science, business, and the technology all operate through English as a shared medium. Academic success, students need communicative competence to engage in global academic environments. Professional readiness. Employers expect graduates who can communicate confidently and fluently in English. And therefore, fundamental language skills. These skills collectively form the backbone of communicative competence and must be taught in an integrated, purposeful way. Listening, receptive, comprehending spoken language across diverse contexts and accents. Reading, receptive, processing written text, building vocabulary and analytical thinking. Speaking, productive, expressing ideas with fluency, accuracy, and spontaneity. Writing, productive, organizing ideas logically and communicating them in coherent written form. Next, theoretical foundation from grammar rules to communicative competence. Communicative language teaching shifted the goal of language education from accuracy to meaningful interaction. Key principles: authentic communication, overall recitation, contextualized real-world language use, integration of receptive and productive skills. Learner interaction at the center of every lesson. Next, active teaching methods. What makes learning active? Active learning moves students from passive recipients of information to engaged participants who interact, problem solve, and apply language in real contexts. It builds critical thinking alongside linguistic competence, interactive tasks. Students use language to complete meaningful objectives, collaborative activities, peer interaction creates authentic communication opportunities. Problem solving, real challenges require creative and flexible language use. Next, method 1, task-based learning. Students use language as a tool to accomplish real objectives, not as the objects of study itself. The focus shifts from to meaningful in action. For example, travel planning project, research, destinations, transport, and accommodation. Then discuss options and then negotiate with group members, present the final travel plan to the class. And all 4 skills are integrated naturally within one meaningful activities. Next, collaborative learning. Authentic interaction. Small groups exchange ideas, negotiate meaning, and they build on each other's contributions in the target language. Reduced anxiety. A supportive peer environment lowers the stakes. Students speak more freely and take more linguistic risks. Next, 21st century skills, teamwork, responsibility, and respect for diverse perspectives develop alongside language proficiency. Next, project-based learning. Students investigate real-world topics, environmental issues, cultural traditions, social challenges over an extended period, culminating in a public product. It is a presentation, report, or exhibition. Draws on reading, research, and the critical analysis, requires planning, collaboration, and oral presentation, builds learner autonomy and academic writing skill. Next, role-playing and the simulations. Realistic scenarios in a safe space. Students take on assigned role and act out situations that mirror real-life communication, building pragmatic competence, the ability to use language appropriately in context, job interviews and the workplace conversations, travel and the customer service situations, classroom debates and the negotiation tasks. Fluency, confidence, and the spontaneity improve through repeated low-stakes practice. Next, digital learning tools, interactive quizzes, Kahoot quizzes, World Transform review into engaging competitive experiences with instant feedback. Multimedia listening, podcasts, educational videos, audio clips expose learners to authentic pronunciation and the natural discourse. Collaborative platforms, Padlet and the shared docs allow real-time co-creation, peer feedback, and the group writing activities. Next, classroom implementation. Building lessons around integrated skills, read articles, group discussions, listen expert, write summary. And the results, what active learning delivers. Motivation. Students show greater willingness to engage, participate, and take risks with language. Fluency. Frequent authentic interaction builds speaking confidence and natural language use. Autonomy, collaborative, and project tasks shift ownership of learning of to students. Critical thinking, debates, research, and problem solving develop higher order cognitive skills. Next, challenges and how to address them. Common challenges: large class sizes, limit group activity management, time pressure makes thorough active cycles difficult, unequal student participation in a group task, limited access to technology in some schools. Practical solutions: use pair work as a scalable, interactive to larger groups. Plan shorter focuses, active tasks within tight schedules. Assign clear role to ensure accountability in group work. Prioritize low-tech active strategies, debate, role play, peer reviews. And conclusion, a practical roadmap for teachers. Embrace integrated skill design, combine listening, speaking, reading, and writing within single, cohesive lesson activities. 2, choose active methods intentionally. Match the method TBL, project work, role play, or digital tools to your learning objectives. 3, create a communicative language classroom culture. Reduce anxiety, invite collaboration, and reward authentic language use over grammatical perfection. 4, reflect and adapt continuously. Observe what engages your student, gather feedback, and refine your approach over time. And in the end, the goal is not for students to know about English. It is for them to able to use it confidently, creatively, and competently in the world they're entering. And the active teaching methods are not a trend. They are proven pedagogical response to the communicative demands of a globalized world. When teachers design lessons around authentic interaction and the meaningful tasks, students don't just learn English, they become communicators. Thank you for your attentions. Yes. Okay, next speaker. Жанар Келдібаева.
Oh, yes. So, видно? Мне видно? Слайды.
Көрініп тұр болды.
So. Good day, dear colleagues and the participants. Today I would like to present my topic entitled Teaching for Skills, Effective Approaches to Teaching the Full Language Skills. Yes. My name is Silva Janar Keldovac, and I represent School Gymnasium number 14. So, learning language. Learning language is a complex process that requires the development of 4 essential skills. The skills are listening, speaking, writing, and reading. Listening, speaking, reading, and writing. All of them play an important role in helping students communicate effectively in English. Modern language teaching focuses not only on grammar and vocabulary, but also on developing students' ability to use the language in real-life situations. The aim of my study is to explore effective approaches to teaching the full language skills. In this presentation, I will discuss practical teaching strategies, interactive classroom activities, and the importance of integrating the skills in the learning process. The goal is to show how these approaches can improve students' communication abilities, increase their motivation, and enhance overall English language learning outcomes. So, first, it is important to understand the importance of teaching the 4 skills together. The skills are closely interconnected and support each other. For example, when students listen to English, they learn pronunciation and intonation. When they read texts, They expand their vocabulary and understand grammar structures. Speaking allows them to express their ideas, and writing helps them organize their thoughts clearly. Effective teaching helps students communicate confidently, understand spoken and written texts, express their opinions, and develop critical thinking skills. Therefore, teachers should aim to create a balanced learning environment where all four skills are developed. So, next. Now, let's begin with teaching listening skills. Listening is often considered the first step in language learning because the students need to understand spoken language before they can respond. Teachers can improve listening skills by using authentic audio materials such as songs, podcasts, short videos. It is also useful to organize activities before, during, and after listening. Also, for example, before listening, students can predict the topic or discuss key vocabulary. During listening, they can answer questions or identify specific information. After listening, they can discuss the content or summarize what they heard. Activities such as dictation, listening for details, and summarizing help students develop strong listening comprehension. The next important skill is speaking. Speaking allows students to express their ideas and communicate with others. However, many students feel shy or afraid of making mistakes. That is why teachers should create a supportive and interactive classroom environment. Effective approaches include communicative language teaching, pair work, group discussions, and role-playing activities. For example, students can participate in debates, interviews, storytelling, or short presentations. These activities encourage students to speak more confidently and practice using English in real-life situations. So the next skill is reading. Reading helps students expand their vocabulary, improve grammar understanding, and develop comprehension skills. Teachers can use several strategies to make reading more effective. For example, before reading a text, students can discuss the topic or predict what the text will be about. During reading, students can use techniques such as skimming to understand the general idea and scanning to find specific information. Now, after reading, they can answer comprehension questions, identify the main idea, or discuss the text in groups. These activities help students understand the content more deeply. So the next skill is writing. Writing helps students organize their ideas and express their thoughts clearly. One effective method is the process writing approach. In this approach, students first brainstorm ideas, then write a draft, revise their work, and finally produce the final version. Teachers can also encourage students to write journals, essays, creative stories, or summarize. Peer feedback is another useful activity because students can learn from each other and improve their writing skills. In modern language teaching, it is also very important to focus on integrated skill development. The most effective learning happens when a student practice several skills all at the same time. For example, students can listen to a related text and then write a short summary or personal opinion. This integrated approach makes learning more meaningful and helps students see how language is used in real communication. Teachers can also use interactive classroom strategies to increase student motivation. Games, groups, projects, and technology can make lessons more engaging. Digital tools, videos, and educational apps provide students with opportunities to practice English in interesting and creative ways. Project-based learning is another effective method because it allowed students to work collaboratively and use all of our skills together. As a result of this approach, students gain many benefits. They can improve their communication skills, become more confident in speaking speaking English, develop critical thinking abilities, and become more independent learners. Students also participate more actively in classroom activities and feel more motivated to learn the language. In conclusion, teaching for language skills effectively is essential for successful English language learning. Teachers should use interactive and communicative methods, integrate listening, speaking, reading, and writing activities, and provide practical opportunities for students to use the language. By applying these approaches, teachers can help students develop stronger language skills, increase their motivation, and become confident users of English. So that's all. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions.
Have you got questions? No. The next speaker is Karam Aziza Ashatovna.
Okay, can you see my screen? Good day, everyone. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, good day, everyone. Let me start, yeah. So let me introduce myself. I am Aziza Karim from school number 77. And today my theme of the conference is boosting everyday English with listening tasks. As our room is focusing on 4 skills, I want to focus on listening only. So you may wonder why it is called everyday English. So the answer is very simple, because I got inspired by the Excel textbooks. We use it, all of us, most of us use it every day. And at the end of the lesson, there is a dialogue session. So I got inspired by it, and I wanted to make a supplementary material and to create my own work. So that's why I chose this one. Okay, so what was my problem? The problem was that my students at the lesson could read the text, could read the words, they understand them, but as soon as they hear the dialogue, they just freeze. They don't understand. They complain that they catch nothing. So I was wondering, what was the problem? The problem was that there was a gap between the reading and listening and the processing what they heard. So that's why I thought maybe they needed more practice, because Excel textbooks are great, fundamental material, but I wanted to add some more of my ideas. So this kind of idea came to my mind that maybe I need to make my own material for students. So, and my goal today is to show that with this 3 simple step plan and with some AI tools, we can make our students more confident and that they can handle the real life conversation. So I made 3 steps. The first one is enhance the foundation. The second one, empower the teacher. And the third one is provide a simple path. So these I'm going to explain just one by one. So the first one is enhance the foundation. As I have mentioned before, I got inspired by the unit of each Excel book. So it is very important to make your own materials for your personal students' need. So that's why I started to make my own dialects, started to make my own texts for my students. Next one is empower the teacher. So by this, I mean that now in today's modern world, we cannot survive with AI tool because that's a great tool for teachers to save some time, but be more effective. So that's why that's also helps us to be creative and give the students what they need. And the third one is provide a simple path. So this I took these 3 steps. So the first solution is to give your students some kind of step-by-step guide. And the first one, as we know, in each skills we have pre-stage, while stage, and post-stage. So the first one is pre-stage. So the pre-stage is that we prime the student's brain. So it means I want to say that we prepare them. What are they gonna learn about? Prepare them for the words or maybe the theme itself, in general. It can be ask and answer questions, maybe pictures, and maybe some words. And the second one is the while stage. While stage, I also call this as detective mode because in this stage, they actively learn, actively search for the words. Maybe they mark the sentences true, false. They can fill in the gaps, yeah. So all of the things, they activate their brains and they boost their listening skills. And the third one is the post stage. Post stage, it should be like a productive. They should product something. So it can be either speaking, role play, presenting to the class, yeah, or it can be writing. So also as a teacher, you can make a connection with the student and know his preferences in any kind of sphere. And so the second solution, as I said, in modern life, we mostly use AI tools. In my project, I use 11 Labs. I'm gonna send you the link soon. So 11 Labs, it's a great tool. Can you see it? I'm sorry, the connection lost. Let me just quickly. Can you see it? Others, please, can you answer? So this is the 11 Labs. I use this AI very often for my project. Why? Because compared to another AI tools, here you can choose any kind of character. So for example, librarian, yeah? Here I chose Laura, the character Laura. She's enthusiastic. Oh, sorry. I chose Alice. She is clear, engaging, educated, which is very suitable for librarian, yeah? The second one, Arojan, she is a student. So I chose for her Jessica. For example, she's playful, bright, and warm. So this tool helps me to create listening and make it more interesting. And they listen to lots of accents, maybe voices and etc. So this tool is great. You can just download. After that, you just download your dialogue and can present it to the class. So, and now I want to present my sample. Can you see? So this is the sample of the lesson. It is called At the Library. So we have here I have here a QR of this dialogue, and the students given the situation, like two friends borrow books from the library, and here is the dialogue. They listen it to like maybe 2 or 3 times. I'm sorry for my voice. So, but before we start, as we said, we have a pre-stage. So here you can see we have answered to the questions. When was the last time you went to the library? What is your favorite genre? So you build connection with your student. Also, they practice the grammar. Also, like they talk about their favorite things. And after they listen to the audio, then we have matching, we have filling the gaps, true, false, also matching the characters to their actions, which can show us their listening comprehension. And the last one, as a post-stage, for example, here, write 3 or 4 sentences and present it to the class, which is speaking, yeah? So they make a productive skill, what kind of book you want, why you like it, what you will do after borrowing the book. So here is the example, and each student can show their results. So with this kind of, I want to say that my project is still in a process. I hope that in a few months I can publish it and like share it with other my colleagues. So key insight I got from this, from my project, from this experiment, that students' confidence boost during the lessons. They the variety of tasks, yeah, as I said, because sometimes in a book, in our textbooks, there are not enough like tasks. So that's why it kills boredom. It makes them to be engaged in a lesson. And AI, which is really which is a really good tool and a time saver for teacher, and listening stages, when you give them step-by-step guide, students like reduce their anxiety, and when they come to your next lesson, they're not afraid of the listening tasks. So that was my presentation. Thank you. So if you have any questions, you may ask, and I can send you the link of this AI in a chat, so you can use it. I hope you find it very useful. So thank you. And sorry for my voice.
Thank you.
Thank you. So
Данагүл Маратовна.
Сәлеметсіздер ма? Естіліп тұр ма?
Иә, естіліп тұр.
Жақсы, қазір. Демонстрацияға маған не бересіздер ма? Доступ. Доступ беріліп тұр, астында поделицаны басып. Иә, сол поделицаны аштым. Аха, жақсы, жақсы. Қазір, бір секунд қазір. Көрініп тұр, иә? Иә, енді көрініп тұр. Баса берсең. Жақсы. So, good day, dear colleagues and respected guests. My name is Danagul Shamanova, and I'm an English teacher at School Lyceum number 27, named after Kasım Kaysenov. So today I would like to present my approach to integrating Adal Azamat values into English language teaching through wise sayings. This approach allows us not only to develop language skills, but also to shape students' moral identity. So, modern education requires more than mechanical fluency. While grammar and vocabulary remain important, our true goal is to shape responsible, ethical, and thoughtful individuals. We are not only teaching a language, we are shaping who our students become. At the center of this approach is the concept of Adal Azamat. It includes 3 key values: honesty, responsibility, and respect. First, honesty, acting with integrity and truth. Second, responsibility, taking ownership of one's actions and future. And third, respect, valuing heritage, others, and global cultures. These values form the foundation of a well-rounded, morally responsible individual. So this idea can be visualized as a tree. The roots represent national identity and moral values. The branches represent global communication skills. The trunk is formed by wise sayings. Our timeless co-teachers agreed Kazakh thinkers such as Abay, Ibray Altynsarin, Marjan Jumabayev, and the works of Abay Kunanbayev, Al-Farabi, Ibray Altynsarin, and Marjan Jumabayev offer deep moral guidance that remains highly relevant today. Their wise sayings enrich English lessons with cultural depth and ethical meaning. In this way, students learn not only a language, but also the wisdom of their own heritage. So let me illustrate this approach using Abay Kunanbayev as an example. So first, students work with vocabulary to understand the language of saying. Second, they engage in deep reflection to explore its meaning. And third, they apply this understanding by discussing real-life ethical situations. As a result, the English lesson becomes not just linguistic practice, but a framework for ethical thinking. So at this point, I would like to share a short example. One of Abay's wise sayings is, "A person's true wealth is knowledge and honesty." And I sometimes invite my students to reflect on this idea not only in English, but through feeling and expression. This transforms the lesson into a meaningful personal experience. Адамның адамшылығы ақыл, ғылым, жақсы ата, жақсы ана, жақсы құрбы, жақсы ұстаздан болады. This shows how deeply our cultural wisdom can enrich language learning. So another example is based on the ideas of Ibray Altynsarin. In this approach, students move from simply writing for grades to understanding the true value of knowledge in their personal lives. They write essays in English inspired by Altynsarin's views on education, reflecting on why learning matters. As a result, their motivation shifts from external pressure to internal purpose. So this approach can be further expanded through the works of Al-Farabi and Marjan Jumabayev. Al-Farabi helps deepen students' intellectual thinking, allowing them to discuss complex moral and philosophical ideas in English. At the same time, Marjan Jumabayev inspires students to develop a strong sense of responsibility for the future. Together, they enrich language learning, connecting intellect with moral purpose. This slide illustrates the paradigm shift in the language classroom. In traditional lessons, the focus is mainly on grammar, vocabulary, and mechanical fluency. In contrast, the Adal Azamat integrated approach emphasizes values, real-life meaning, and social responsibility. Instead of artificial dialogues, students engage with sayings that promote meaningful discussion and more awareness. Thus, language learning becomes not only functional, but truly transformative. So, first, students engage in comparative analysis, exploring similarities between Kazakh and English proverbs. Then, through discussion, they express personal opinions and reflect on core values. So, next, in role play activities, they act out real-life moral dilemmas. Finally, they complete writing tasks, developing structured essays based on wise sayings. This cycle ensures both language development and deep value formation. In conclusion, teaching a language is not longer just about words, grammar, and rules. When we integrate the timeless wisdom of our ancestors into English lessons, we transform education into a meaningful and value-driven process. We do not simply teach English, we nurture individuals who are honest, responsible, and intellectual aware. In other words, we help shape true Adal Azamat individuals who are ready not only to communicate, but to lead and contribute to society. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Next, the last speaker, Кыдырбекова Гүлмира Жакынбековна. Устами, пожалуйста.
Good afternoon, dear colleagues. My name is Gulmira Rakambekovna. I am an English teacher at school Lyceum number 37. Today I would like to share with you the methods of using guided grading tools. Көрініп тұр ма? Қазір. Көрініп тұр ма? Мен просто экран қарайып кетіп көре алмай отырмын. Мұнда не барын? Қазір қосылсын. Мен көре алмай отырмын сіз. Мына экранды вообще қап-қара отыр. Не болып қалды? Слайдты ауыстыруға бізде мүмкіндік болмайды.
Көрініп тұрмыз, бастай берсеңіз болады.
Мен вообще мына өзім слайдымды көрмей тұрмын, мен ауыстыра алмай отырмын. Просто қап-қара болып тұр. Қазір кешірім сұрайын. Ой, ё-моё, неме қызық қол. Вообще ол конференция маған қызық болып, тақырыбым өзгерген, секция мен ол да еще не программада өзгертілмей кеткен. Енді міне компьютер мүлде қап-қара бет, мен көре алмай отырмын.
Сіз сөйлей беріңіз, көрініп тұр бізге.
Мен просто слайдта барлығы былай қарай алмай отырмын.
Слайдты мен қосып берейін, онда сіз өшіресеңіз демонстрация.
Давайте. Вообще компьютер, сіз өшіре салыңызшы, мүмкін содан шығар. Мен өйткені компьютердің қап-қара беті. Ештеме көріп отырған жоқпын.
Мен өшіре алмаймын демонстрация, сөзіңіз өшіре аласыз.
Ойбай, қазір. Оны да жасай алмай тұрмын ғой, беті қап-қара болып тұр компьютер. Тый қырсық, блин.
Свернуть жасап көріңізші, может, сіз не тастаған шығарсыз ғой. Біз қазір 13:55 аяқтауымыз керек.
Түсініп тұрмын, аға, мен түсініп мен. Так.
Жоғар жағында болу керек.
Escape дегенді мен. Міне болды. Шықты ғой, да?
Жоқ, шықты. Жоқ, шықтырған жоқсыз. Шыққан жоқ, өшпеді неңіз. Презентацияңыз.
Так, демонстрация көрініп тұр ма сіздерге хотя?
Маған көрініп тұр, бірақ өшіре салсаң.
Мен стоп, өшіре салам қазір, мен жоғары шыққан. Енді сіз қоса салыңызшы ма?
Көрініп тұр ғой?
Жоқ, енді шықты.
Вот бастай берсеңіз болады.
Так, мен қазақ тілінде дайындалып едім, қазақ тілінде айтып шығам. Маған вот демонстрация қосылса, көрінбейді, мүлде көрінбейді, қап-қара болып тұр.
Бастай беріңіз.
Онда демонстрациясыз айтсам, енді. арасында енді солай демонстрацияны алып тастау керек па? Аха. Так, guided grading ағылшын тілі мұғалімдерінің инновациялық құралы ретінде. Так, мына көрінбейді. Жарайды. Аха, жақсы, онда айта берейін, иә. Так, қазіргі таңда білім беру жүйесі не үйрету керек деген сұрақтан қалай тиімді кері байланыс беру керек деген тақырыпқа трансформациялануда. Ағылшын тілі міне guided grading бұл мұғалімді алмастыру емес, оның техникалық жүктемесін азайтып, шығармашылық және зерттеушілік әлеуетін арттыруға бағытталған инновация. Бұл дәстүрлі бағалаумен салыстырғанда guided grading жасанды интеллект алгоритмдері мен мұғалімдердің кәсіби сараптамасының симбиозын білдіреді бұл. Деректерді талдау, яғни жасанды интеллект оқушы жұмысындағы грамматикалық, стилистикалық және логикалық құрылымды секунд ішінде талдайды. Мұғалімге әр оқушының деңгейіне лайықталған бірнеше кері байланыс нұсқасын ұсынады. English as foreign language, ағылшын тілі, яғни шет тілі ретінде үйренушілер үшін кері байланыстың күрделілік деңгейін автоматты түрде реттейді. Міне сіздерге ағылшын тілі мұғалімдерінің ең көп уақытын алатын жазба жұмыстарын тексеру, осы жазба жұмыстарын тексеруге сіздерге мұғалімнің жұмысын жеңілдететін екі жасанды интеллекті ұсынғым келіп отыр. Ол жазбаша жұмыстарды терең талдауда GoGrade жасанды интеллекті және бізге беріліп отырған Grading Poll жасанды интеллектісі. Бұл екеуі бізге ағылшын тілі мұғалімдерінде жазба жұмыстарды бағалауға көмекші құрал ретінде қолдануға болады. Мысалы, біз SAT English олимпиадасы ағылшын тілінде өтті, сіздер әріптестерін білетін шығарсыздар. Ол кезде балалар 120 сөзден 260 сөзге дейінгі, мысалы, мәтін эссе жазды. Осындай мәтін эссені мұғалімдер тексергенде, мысалы, бір эссені тексеруге кемінде 20-30 минут мұғалімнің уақытын алады. Ал осы мен ұсынып отырған жасанды интеллект құралдары осы тапсырманы бірнеше секундтың ішінде бізге орындап беруге мүмкіндік береді, кері байланыс беруге, бағалауға және. Міне GoGrade мұғалімнің уақытын үнемдеуге арналған оқушылардың жұмысын жасанды интеллект көмегімен бағалайтын бұл тиімді платформа. Ол әсіресе эсселерді, шығармаларды және ашық сұрақтарды критерийлер бойынша тексеруге өте ыңғайлы. Мұғалім ретінде мектепте қолданылатын ресми Google аккаунтыңыз болса, бұл өте біздің Google аккаунтты таңдағанымыз ол абзал, себебі бұл кейін оқушыларды тізімін импорттауды жеңілдетеді. Google аккаунт арқылы біз Google Classroom'нан осы GoGrade жасанды интеллект, яғни платформасына біз сыныбымызды көшіріп, немесе жекелеген оқушыларды көшіріп ала аламыз. Және ол бағалауда өте бізде тиімді болады. GoGrade бұл 3 қадамнан тұрады. Негізгі тапсырмаларды жасау немесе импорттау. Осы бетте біз тапсырманы өздігімізбен, қолымызбен жасай аламыз, немесе импорттай аламыз. Кез келген импорттауда біз тапсырманы әртүрлі форматта импорттай алады. Яғни PDF форматында да, немесе фотоға түсіріп, фото форматында да, және Google Docs'тан көшіріп алуға да болады. Сонымен қатар Word форматында қоюға болады. Бұл импорттауда импорттай аламыз. Яғни рубрика бағалау критерийларын орнату бұл бағдарламаның ең маңызды бөлігі. Бұл жерде дайын рубрикаларды қолдануға болады, немесе осы GoGrade өз рубрикаларын автоматты түрде жасап береді. Бірақ біз шет тілін оқытып жатырмыз, сондықтан біз шет тілін оқытқандықтан рубриканы біз өзіміз жасағанымыз абзал, өйткені ол стандартты бұл жиыда яғни біз жиыды қолданамыз, бірақ біз оны басқарамыз мұғалімдер, иә. Сондықтан стандартты рубрикадан көрі ол көбінесе ол бірінші тіл ретінде first language-ға, иә, көп бағытталып кетеді, ал бізде ол foreign language, шет тілі ретінде оқытамыз біз ағылшын тілін. Сондықтан біз өз рубрикаларымыз бен критерий дескрипторларымызды берген бұл жерде біз үшін тиімді болады. Сонда біз оқушыға сәйкес, біз өз балаларымыздың деңгейіне сәйкес кері байланыс ала аламыз. Так, бағалау және кері байланыста бұл міне grade батырмасын басқан соң оқушының жаңағы тапсырманы жүктейміз, оқушының және рубрикаларын айттық, жаңа жүктейміз. Одан кейін біз нақты тапсырма береміз жасанды интеллектке. Біз оның тапсырма бергенде біз ол жерде балалардың ол foreign language немесе second language екенін көрсеткеніміз маңызды. Келесі жасанды интеллект ол grading pal бұл мұғалімдерге алдыңғы жиі секілді оқушылардың жазба жұмыстарын тексеруге және сапалы кері байланыс беруге көмектесетін тағы бір жасанды интеллект құралы. Оның басты ерекшелігі бағалау процесін барынша қарапайым әрі түсінікті етуде. Платформада жұмыс істеу негізгі 4 кезеңнен тұрады. Бұл жерде жаңа тапсырманы құру, create assignment, ол жерде тапсырманың атын нақты мысалдарымен, нұсқаулығымен беру қажет. Бағалау критерийін біз өзіміздің бұл жерде егер GoGrade ол өзі де бізге ұсына алатын болса критерийді, рубриканы, ал бұл жасанды интеллектте біз өзіміздің критерийлерімізді қосамыз. Мысалы, сөздік қорды тексеру керек пе, грамматика, немесе тақырыптың ашылуы, логикалық жүйесі туралы беруге болады. Және бұл жерге әр критерийге балл қойсаңыз, ол сізді автоматты түрде оқушыны бағасымен сізге кері байланыс бере алады. Оқушының жұмысын жүктеуді grading палға бірнеше, мысалы, Word форматында жүктеуге болады, PDF, сурет форматында, және Google Docs-тан сілтемені қосуға болады. Бұл жерде де кері байланыс әр критерий бойынша баға береді және мәтіндегі қателерді көрсетеді. Оқушыларға арналған жігерлендіруші және бағыт-бағдар беруші коммент, пікір дайындайды бұл жерде. Яғни бұл инновацияның маңызы, мұғалім әр тапсырма үшін критерийлерді жазып отырмайды, дайын дескриптор оқушыға тапсырма берілмес бұрын таныстырылады. Бұл оқушылардың өз нәтижесін алдын ала болжап, соған ұмтылуына мүмкіндік береді. Енді біз дәстүрлі бағалаудан guided gradingге көшу, ол педагогикалық қазіргі таңдағы инновация мен тиімділікті арттырады. Дәстүрлі бағалау жүйесінен жасанды интеллект қолданумен жүретін guided grading модуліне көшу бұл жай ғана технологиялық жаңалық емес, бұл мұғалім мен оқушы арасындағы кері байланыс мәдениетін түбегейлі өзгертеді. Яғни уақыт менеджменті, саннан сапаға көшу. Мысалы, дәстүрлі форматта алдында айтылғандай, мұғалім бір оқушының эссесін тексеруге орта есеппен 20 минут жұмсайтын болса, бұл жасанды интеллекттер арқылы ол 80% техникалық жұмыс, бұл уақыттың 80% техникалық жұмысқа, мысалы, грамматикалық қателер түзеу, пунктуацияны тексеру, типтік пікірлерді жазуға кетеді. Ал нәтижесінде мұғалім оқушының ой тереңіне немесе стилистикалық ерекшелігіне талдау жасауға шаршап кетеді бізде дәстүрлі форматта. Ал бұл инновациялық технологиялар бізге мұғалімнің, мысалы, эссені 15-30 секунд ішінде талдауға мұғалімге дайын жаба ұсынады, және мұғалім қатені іздеуші емес, бұл жерде редактор ретінде рөлге ауысады, және ол жасанды интеллект ұсынған пікірлерді оқушының жеке ерекшелігіне қарай өңдеуге 2-3 минут жұмсауы мүмкін. Нәтижесінде тексеру уақыты, мысалы, 5-10 есеге қысқарып, және кері байланыстың көлемі мен сапасы артады. Мысалы, біз кері байланысты дәстүрлі оқытуда good job, check your grammar деген сияқты жалпылама пікірмен білдіретін болсақ, ал жасанды интеллекттер бізге оның дамуына бағыт беретін нені нақты бағыт береді, иә, яғни.
Жарқынбековна,
Жақсы, болды, онда қазір қорытамын. Яғни мен сіздерге осы екі нені ұсынып отырмын, сіздерге көлемді мәтіндерді жазба жұмыстарды тексеруге, иә. Сонымен қорыта келе, өзгермелі әлем жағдайында ағылшын тілін оқытуды трансформациялау жаңа оқулықтар емес, жаңа технологиялық мәдениетті қалыптастыру. Guided grading бұл білім сапасын арттырудың, зерттеуге негізделген оқытудың және инновациялық мектеп моделіне көшудің нақты құралы. Сонымен қатар guided grading бұл мұғалімнің уақытын ұрлайтын ескі әдістерден бас тартып, сапалы білім мен саналы кері байланысқа негізделген трансформациялық қадам. Жақсы, рахмет сіздерге. Мен ақыр немді слайдымды көрмедім.
Рахмет.
Thank you for your attention.
Does it work with any kind of writing? Because some students have like unbearable, unreadable writing. So I want to know that. Барлық жазу қабылдайды ма бұл?
Бұл барлық handwritingді да қабылдайды. Бұл Wordта, яғни Google Docsқа сілтеме арқылы Word форматтағы немесе басқа да даже фотоны түсіріп, яғни handwriting бар ғой, мына жерде көрсетіп қойдық, иә. Осыны даже bad handwritingнің өзін бұл оқуға мүмкіндік береді. Біз балалардың қолын, мысалы, почеркісі жаман болғанмен, бір балалар жүйелі жазуы мүмкін, иә, эсселерді, логикасы дұрыс болуы мүмкін, оның почеркісі дұрыс болмағанмен, осылардың барлығын бізге сараптауға бұл мүмкіндік береді.
Рахмет, жақсы.
Рахмет сіздер.
Әріптестер, қазір үзіліс 14:30-да жалғастырамыз.
Мына жерге.
Әріптестер, осы сілтемемен 14:30-да қосыласыздар.